Well, it's that time, and my name is Mark, if you don't know me, and I'll introduce Matt in a second. Can you all hear me? Fine? Okay. So what I want to do today is, as you know from the church, we've been advertising that we're going to have Dr. Tim Norman speak today. Dr. Norman is a senior professor of mechanical and biomedical engineering at Cedarville. And so he had to cancel at the last minute, so Matt is his fill-in, and I know he'll do a good job. But what I want to show you to start off with is a video of what Dr. Norman would have talked to us about a 3-minute TV clip you'll see on the screen. Go ahead, John. Thanks for running the video.
All right.
So that was a TV report out of Cincinnati where Dr. Norman did that. And that device is very near FDA approval. I would think that maybe this month, not next. It'll gain FDA approval and then be marketed. And as Tim said, that there are military organizations across the world interested in getting that for their soldiers. So that's what you would have heard, but I saved the best for last, and that's a 19-year-old entrepreneur named Matt Black, who I've got to know this semester. He works in the division that I work at, but so I'm going to start by, first of all, I have some questions for him, but we're going to turn the microphone to you at some point. So if you have questions, be ready for those questions, and Matt will answer them. So Matt, for this audience, tell us about yourself. Tell us your name. I already told them you're 19. Oh, you're going to be 20 pretty soon.
About to be.
And where are you from? What year are you at Cedarville? What's your major? Give us some basic details.
Yeah, so like Mark said, my name is Matt Black. I'm 19, almost 20 in a couple weeks. I'm from Tampa, Florida, so pretty long ways away from home. I'm studying digital media and broadcasting at Cedarville, focused on the film aspect of things. So.
Okay, so one thing I do often at Cedarville, I do a podcast. I host a podcast, and one thing I like to ask the guests often is, tell us your spiritual journey. Tell me when you met Jesus, how you met Jesus. So Matt, tell us your spiritual journey.
Yeah. So when I was 5 years old, I don't know how many of you guys know the TV show called The Way of the Master. But when I was 5, I was watching an episode that talked about a father who saved his son from an alligator attack, and then that tied back into how Christ saved his children, saves his children from spiritual death. And so I saw that, I had a lot of questions from my parents, and then that night they walked me through the gospel and made sure I understood it, and I accepted Christ as my Savior at 5 years old.
That's great. Thanks for sharing. It's fabulous. So you already said you're a student. What do you enjoy the most about being a college student at Cedarville?
Yeah, Cedarville is an awesome place. I think my favorite part is the fact that everyone is doing different things. Everyone has different goals. Everyone wants to do different things in life. But ultimately, they all have one main goal and one main purpose, and that's to love God and love people. And that really shows all throughout campus, was just the way that people serve and the way people just interact and talk to each other. So that's probably my favorite part about Cedarville.
So Matt did not come directly from Tampa to Cedarville, from high school to the university. I know there's some people in this room who may know this, but if they don't, they'll be excited. But he actually transferred to Cedarville from a very reputable organization. Matt, why did you want to transfer to Cedarville, and what sets it apart from other Christian schools, and then where did you transfer from?
Yeah, so after high school, I graduated in 2022, and I attended the first year program at the Word of Life Bible Institute in Florida with my friend back there. And so while at Word of Life, I decided to finalize my plan to go to Cedarville just based off of the great things I've heard about Cedarville from different people and staff at Word of Life and friends that I have there trusted. And then through that process, God was able to provide me a lot of different scholarships and opportunities that really pointed me towards Cedarville as being a really good option for me. And so just the fact of how Christ-centered the focus was, and the fact that that's the environment I wanted to be in to continue my education, and then just the opportunities that God opened for me really pointed Cedarville towards me.
Okay, so Word of Life, how did your time at Word of Life prepare you for Cedarville? And I assume the transition was pretty seamless because they're very similar, right?
Yeah, the Word of Life in Cedarville is very similar. I kind of call Word of Life a small Cedarville, but for me, both my parents work at Word of Life, and then I lived 15 minutes away from campus, and so that year to be able to just transition out of high school into an environment that I was familiar with, but had some differences compared to high school, really helped me be prepared for taking the next jump to coming here to Ohio. But Ohio, Word of Life really prepared me for the college atmosphere, just with how academics are the focus, the fact that you need to be, on time with everything, really focus on what you need to do and doing things the right way, and you can't just kind of just go through things like kind of did with high school. And it really prepared me spiritually and helped me mature a lot.
Okay, so thank you for sharing your personal important stuff, but let's go now into what you're doing now. And you have started your own business as a 19-year-old. I don't know how many 19-year-old students have their own business. I know some 19-year-olds haven't even worked a day in their life. So you're well ahead of them. So in terms of video and photography, how did you start getting interested in that part of the work?
Yeah, so this is kind of a interesting journey I've had. So in 2018, I had the opportunity to work on the production team for Word of Life camp in New York. When we lived in New York, so I learned how to run sound, I learned how to run lights, how to do kind of events like this. And then whenever my family was relocated from Word of Life New York to Word of Life Florida, there wasn't really any opportunities for me to continue working in production and working in tech. And so my mom reached out to the media team at Word of Life Florida and asked, hey, is there any opportunities for me? Could I shadow them for a day? And so one day during the summer, I was able to shadow them. And the moment, I remember it vividly, the day I got my camera in my hand for the very first time, I fell in love. And just being able to just see some of the work I've done be, from that day, get shared and have moms be like, oh, my kid got their photo taken up, and just all that was like, I really enjoyed it. So that's what got my first step in, and then ever since then, it's been just a continual growth journey of just having a bunch of opportunities within this area, and then just God opening a bunch of doors for me.
So some of the people in this room may remember, I think, was it the Kodak Instamatic camera? Okay. Nowadays, everyone has a camera. So we may think we're really good photographers, but I'm going to ask a professional, what are the important steps, ingredients that are important to be in video and in photography? What are some tips that you would tell us that are important, that makes something good?
Yeah, and so to make a good video, a great video, it comes with a couple key things, but really it's about storytelling. If you can tell a clear story and have it look good and be free of distractions, that's how you jump from having a good video to a great video, and being able to have an impact and see the impact of people within a video. So having a good video means good storytelling, but also free of distractions.
How do you tell a good story through video or photography?
Yeah, it's all about the people. The story is not in what I can capture, but the story is what the people have to say.
So if you have a good photograph, a good photograph is able to communicate emotion? How do you do that?
Yeah, for example, whenever I take photos at concerts and things like that, I focus a lot on the person's emotions. And so I might take, if an artist on stage, jumping up, going crazy, I might take 300 photos out of that, 30 seconds of the artist doing whatever, and I'll get the one photo in there where his, facial expression, everything he's really showing the moment in there. And so I'm able to capture the moment for the people and help them relive the moments visually instead of just in their memory.
So what I just heard you say is, it's not uncommon for a really good photographer to need to take 300 plus photos to get one photo. Is that right?
Yeah.
Has that been your example?
I shot a really big concert recently, and that night I took a little over 10,000 photos.
And you use how many? How many did they want?
I used a couple, maybe 150 photos. So really, you get about a 10% return, and that's pretty good.
Okay. So I think you've come today to show some of your, I'll say some of your favorite videos, some of your videos. Can you show some of your videos?
I can.
In the fire, in the flames, in every season, you remain. You'll never leave me. You'll never leave me. In every high, in every low, you're always there. I'm not alone. You'll never leave me. You'll never leave me. In every high, in every low, you're always there. I'm not alone. You'll never leave me. You'll never leave me. No one's ever loved me like Jesus. Oh, what a friend that I found in Him. He came along and He picked up the pieces. No one has ever loved me like Jesus.
So as I look at that video, Matt, my question is, what was the purpose? Who was the artist? And maybe you can even touch on what are some skills that are important to get something like that?
Yeah. So to answer your question, so that right there, his name's John Wesley. He's a Christian artist out of Tampa, and he had the opportunity to travel or tour with Winter Jam this year. So Winter Jam is a large Christian concert that has names like Crowder, Lecrae, Ann Wilson, New Song, bunch of big names. And so this year, they had over 300,000 people come to their events. And so this video was a recap video for John Wesley himself, just to show everything that God has done during the past 3 months on this tour. And so something important, or something that's really helped me get to this point, goes back to during my childhood and growing up, way before I was even thinking about video and photo. So I grew up playing a lot of video games, and my mom yelling at me every single night, come to dinner, come to dinner, come to dinner, hurry up, you gotta get off the games. But I was talking to my mom the other night, and she was reflecting on that with me, and how all those years of me playing really helped me have an eye for detail. It taught me really good hand-eye coordination and anticipation skills. And that's something that's really important within my job and my industry, is really good anticipation skills. Because I got to be able to kind of predict, especially at events like this, what's next, and be kind of one step ahead of the audience, one step ahead of the crowd, because there's so many moments that only happen once. And if you miss the moment, you miss the moment. And so playing games like Call of Duty, which is a shooting game, or Need for Speed, which is racing games, you have to learn anticipation skills to figure out what your opponent or what the person you're racing against is going to do. So all those skills, things, just me doing simple things growing up helped me just to nail and a lot of things I do now. And then another thing that's interesting is I grew up, my parents were house parents. And so what that meant was for over 10 years of my life, I had 120 different brothers live with me. And in doing so, when I was starting very little, I learned a lot of communication skills and networking skills and how to interact with people well and deal with the different stressful situations and everything. And so just some of those natural like networking skills and how to deal with different situations that started young has really carried over and helped me become successful in what I do, and really helps me with what I am now. So all these, as I look back, all these little things I didn't really think were super related to each other really helped me do what I do now.
So, valuable information there, and then something I heard him say, and I'll challenge you guys. So maybe as parents or grandparents, don't yell at your children or grandchildren for doing video games, because you may be taking them away from video or some great skill that like Matt has. Just kidding there. You have another video, I think.
I do.
Do you realize that outside of God and outside of Jesus, you and I are completely lost? Sin still has a full effect in your life and in my life. The very thing that separates you from God has been fully paid on the cross. And that anyone who believes in Him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
So that was so the challenge of that was, it was a 60-second recap video of a weekend at Word of Life Pursuit Camp in Ohio. And so it was taking a 7-minute video and punching it down to about 60 seconds.
So let's transition to how in the world does a 19-year-old college student start a business? So when did you start this business, and what does it take to get that moving and happening?
So I started my freelance photography and photo business in 2022 in the fall, whenever I was asked to shoot my very first video for a client. So that's when I was like, okay, I have this opportunity, I'll just go ahead and jump into the freelance business and just start my own, start from there. And so something that I saw that really helped me take the jump into starting a business is actually having the faith to make the jump, and it comes with a lot of courage and a lot of prayer. I seek a lot of prayer this time through my friends and family, and then just prayer just between me and the Lord of what to do, and me trusting the plan that He has for me in the path, and that, you know, the decisions I'll have following this.
Okay. So I would think someone your age, so actually you started your business when you were 17.
Mm-hmm.
So who were some mentors who helped you, not just start the business, but who have shaped your life from a spiritual perspective as well?
First and foremost, both my parents. They are my biggest supporters. They have really helped shape me who I am today, spiritually, but also as a man. And then with different mentors along the way, I've had a lot of people pour into my life within the video and photo world and the production world, and they still communicate with me on a regular basis. But without those people taking the chance on me at a very young age and really pouring into my life and wanting to help me succeed and help me grow, I don't think I would be where I am today.
Who are some of those mentors?
There's a couple. One would be, his name's Dylan Franklin. He's the media coordinator at Word of Life. Another one would be Harrison Sims. He's a production coordinator at the church I worked for. And then at Cedarville, it would be Mark Tucker, who works in our department. And then another guy named Kerry Oberbrunner. He's a professor for entrepreneurship who's really helped me lay out some things recently.
So as you were moving toward building your business, we talked about this before today, this morning, and that some Bible references, some Bible passages really spoke to you and really guided you. What were they?
One of them is Matthew 6:26. That says, "Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more valuable than they?" And this verse really helped me a lot because I was worrying about a bunch of different things, and then it was just a reminder of, God provides for the birds, God provides for the animals. So who am I to doubt that God can't provide for me? And so this was a verse that really helped me take the step and just trust that, if I'm faithful, God will provide.
And has He provided? And how have you seen God provide?
Yeah, in the biggest way, there's been a couple ways, but one of them is God provided me a bunch of different opportunities to work, but the biggest way has been God providing me the financial ability to come to Cedarville, because that was something I prayed out for a long time, and God provided that need with a couple different scholarships from my church, and then through Word of Life in Cedarville. So God has really provided me a lot through my ability to come here.
And I just thought of this, in a real tangible way, even today, how God provided for Matt is, his car is in Tampa. So he doesn't have a car here on campus, but he has a driver, Easton, back there running the video. And not only is he a entrepreneur and a business owner, he's a celebrity who needs a driver, so it's really impressive. I need to see if, hey Walt, will you drive for me sometime? Okay, I'll take you up on that. So back into the video and photo world, Matt, what are your favorite aspects of shooting, whether it's video or photos?
Yeah, my favorite thing is that my job is a service. I don't do it for myself, but I do it for other people. And so my favorite part of my job is that I'm able to make people happy by capturing their memories. So many people want to, if they're at an event or doing something fun, they want to live in the moment and have fun, but also relive it later in their memory. But that's where my job comes into play, because I'm able to provide the help to do that visually through photos and video. And so one of my favorite parts is able just to tell the story of what people are doing in the moment, have them retell it, whether it's a camper raising his hand and accepting Christ as Savior, dedicating his life, or a bride and groom getting married on their wedding day, or an artist having his first big concert on stage. These are moments that people really want to cherish and keep reminding themselves over and over and over of just things that God's provided for them. So it's my job to help provide the experience and memories visually for them.
So I mentioned earlier that, I don't know many 19-year-olds who have their own business. I also don't know many 19-year-olds who work 4 jobs at the same time. I remember working when I was his age, maybe a couple jobs, but 4 seems pretty amazing. What are those 4 jobs, Matt, and why?
Yeah. So the 4 different jobs I have, one of them is working for the Cedarville marketing department. camera operator for all the chapels they have every single day. And then my third one is the business I run through my freelance and photo business. And then my fourth job is a apprenticeship I have with a company called 1520 Creative. And they are the company that's in charge of editing the new movie Unsung Hero. So I don't know if any of you guys have heard about the new movie Unsung Hero or Ordinary Angels, Jesus Revolution. So that's the company I'm working for. So I'm learning a lot of things on that side too.
Okay.
And then the why behind it, I would say it's to be a really good steward of what God has provided for me. So God has provided me the opportunity to come here, and so and the financial ability. So I want to be able to just be a good steward of what God's provided for me. Try to come out of college debt free, and make sure I'm learning not only in the classroom but outside the classroom.
How many customers or clients do you have?
It depends. Retainer, I probably have, maybe 10 that I communicate and work with regularly. But over the past 2 years, I've probably worked with, I'd probably say over 100 different people.
Okay, and one of those, I know because I was part of his hiring process, that I volunteer at the Xenia Area Chamber of Commerce, and February we had our annual gala. It was really huge, and we didn't have a photographer, so I was asked by Donna, the president, if I knew of anyone who could take photos. So I recommended Matt, and he represented Jesus Worldwide, took great photos, first of all. Typically, for this event, when we have a photographer, it's usually about, don't listen to this, it's usually like 2, 3, 4 weeks before we see the pictures. Matt had them back to us in 2 hours after the event was over. So that's the trend you need to continue, because they'll hire you every time. So keep that up. But speaking of photos, show us some of your favorite photos.
Yeah. So here's some concert photos. And so on the left side there you have an artist named Danny Gokey, and on the right side you have Austin French. And then here's another one. So you got Kane.
Is that on the left?
Yes.
Our left.
Yes, our left. Yeah.
So I don't see his head.
Well, yeah, he's doing a backflip. He's doing a backflip on stage.
Is he wearing a hoodie?
He's wearing a hoodie. He's wearing a
Okay,
hoodie.
wow.
And so mid-flip, his hood got caught and his hat is flying away somewhere.
Okay.
And then on the right side is an artist. Her name is Katie Nicole. And so she sings a song, like the song goes, I pray for healing. I pray for circumstances to change. So I don't know if you've heard that song on the radio.
The God of Possible.
We Got It Possible. There we go. And then on the background is Lecrae. And then another one. And then here you have Lecrae on the left side, and then David Crowder on the right side. Here's some camp photos. So you got on the top, we do cabin photos every Monday. So our goal within media is to get a picture of every single camper that comes. And then you have some girls tubing, some girls playing in a color war. Then you have another girl right there tying a ribbon on the cross, which is, we do that at the dedication service, which shows, you're giving up, maybe passing the baton to. It's just a way to symbolize, hey, I'm taking the next step. I'm rededicating my faith to Christ. And then right here you have some sports photos, and so you have on the left side here a photo of the Cedarville women's volleyball team. And then you have the Cleveland Monsters hockey team there. And then on the back there, you got a photo of the Dayton Dragons. And then here's some personal work I've done for clients. And in the middle there is my sister. And then here I'm a drone pilot. And so here's a photo I got during the sunset at Tampa. And then there's the Tampa River Walk.
Wow, those are nice. So I'm intrigued to find out. So I saw Lecrae and Katie Nicole, so that's impressive. How do you get assignments like those?
Yeah, it's all through networking. Last year, one of my photographer friends in Tampa reached out to me because he couldn't shoot the concert, so he had me shoot the concert called Winter Jam, and so I continued that connection. And then this year, I reached out to John Wesley, the guy who you saw the video of earlier. I saw he was touring, said, hey, I'd love to serve you and provide a few photos free of charge just to help promote you and show what God's doing through your ministry. And so he brought me on, and I was able to shoot 2 events for him. And then through that, I was able to meet a bunch of artists and get some work in for them.
I have a few more questions, and then we'll open it up to the floor for questions. But this question I didn't have prepared. It just came to me now, so I'm going to throw a curveball to you. Earlier I asked you who have served as mentors to you. Are you now trying to serve as a mentor to somebody else?
Yes. So last summer, I had the opportunity to be the video supervisor at Word of Life Coast on the media team. And through that, I had 2 high school boys underneath me that I was able to train in how to do their job in video, but also I got to disciple them. And so for 9 weeks, I was living with them, doing life together with them, discipling them, seeing God work in their life. And even to this day, one of the guys, his name is Zave, he called me yesterday, he had some things he wanted to talk through and so forth. So just continuing those relationships and being able to just support the young people's lives has been really important to me because people are important to mine.
Yeah, I think it's really important that as guys, young guys, older guys, we can always look for opportunities to build in the lives of other people, whether they're older or younger. And so that's good that you're doing that. Earlier, Matt, you mentioned working or having Parker Adams, who's with 1520 Creative as a marketing firm in Nashville. What's some of the work that you've done with 1520 and Parker specifically?
Yeah, so with 1520 Creative, I'm an assistant editor for them, which means for my role, especially talking about the movie Unsung Hero, is I am working on a lot of the marketing behind the scenes content videos for them. So I'm working on organizing a lot of the files, sorting everything, getting things ready for the editor. So my job is basically to serve the roles or serve the editor to prepare everything for him to get the final edits going.
Okay. And how many people have heard anything of Unsung Heroes other than this morning? Well, okay, a couple. Do you have a trailer you can show?
I do.
My place in this world.
So that movie is coming to theaters. It's April 24th and 26th. One thing I learned 2 weeks ago for the podcast that I do, I had Parker Adams. He was on campus. He's the editor of that movie. And the one thing I learned, and if you want to hear the full story, listen to the podcast. But he said, we as consumers have a great opportunity to evangelize through Christian movies that are in the theaters. And how that happens is, and I didn't know this until he told me, that if a certain amount of money is raised through people going to the movie to see these kinds of movies, that opens up the opportunity for that movie to go into closed countries, to be viewed. And what a great opportunity to get into a closed country with a video that has gospel overtones and messages. And so I encourage you, free plug to, when Unsung Heroes comes, to go see it.
April 26th.
April 26th.
April 26th, it'll be all over the theaters, so please go check it out. It could be a great opportunity to bring unsaved friends to go see it and hear the gospel.
2 or 3 questions left. So with Unsung Heroes, the work you've done there and other things, what are some challenges you've faced in video production?
Yeah, for me, a lot of challenges I faced has to do with comparison. It is very easy, especially within the creative world, to compare your work to the work of other people and be discouraged by that. That's something I struggled with for a long time and sometimes still struggle today. And so through different mentorship and discipleship, I was told I learned through God's word that it's not all about me, and that my identity is not found in what I can do with the camera. My identity is not found in the people that I know or the cool things I can do, but my identity is found in Christ. And so that was a really good reminder that, yes, I can do all these cool things. Yes, I can, take photos and make videos, but at the end of the day, that's not what really matters. What matters is the impact that I'm able to have on people while I'm here.
So let's take that one step forward. So the video world, the movie world is very self-centered. Actually, what isn't self-centered, it seems like? Matt, how do you manage to keep your priorities straight in accordance with Scripture?
Yeah, I have a really good Bible verse for that, actually.
Oh, you got some photos.
I got some photos here. So 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it for the glory of God. And that was a really good reminder for me that no matter what I do within the video photo world, I need to make sure that what I do is God glorifying and that I'm not doing it for myself, but it's me providing a service for someone else and ultimately pointing all the glory and all the work and all the effort back to God who gave me the ability and gave me the gifts to do what I have.
That's great. My last question. What are your goals for your future for both career and business?
Yeah, so my future goals is that I want to continue to grow, but also grow spiritually and what I do, and be able to, no matter where I am or whatever job I have, whether it's in ministry or out of ministry, through my actions and through the way I do my job, be a testimony to other people, as well as continuing to use my gifts that God's given me within the local church and be able to serve in those different ways. So really, just being a testimony to others through the way I do my job, the way I act, and then being able to continue serving the Lord in what I do.
I have enjoyed working with you this year more closely than I had before. I find in you a person who has a maturity, personally, professionally, and spiritually that's refreshing. And I want to thank you for that, and thank you for speaking today. So I want to open up the floor. I'll come down to the floor with the mic if there's anyone who has a question for Matt. Not surprising, Walt Price.
Hello, Matt. My question probably has nothing to do with your video production, but can you just describe a little bit about the impact of 120 brothers on your life while you were growing up?
Yeah, so to give a little bit more context to that, again, my parents were house parents when I was growing up for 10 years, meaning that it was kind of like, I don't know if you guys have heard of group homes, but I had over 120 different brothers live with me, and so through that, I was able to see a bunch of lives change, but be able to see a bunch of different life experiences and different things that people have gone through. So growing up, I was able to see a lot of the hurt in people's lives, and that really gave me a heart for people, especially teenagers and high school students. And so that really helps transition to what I've been doing with camps the past couple of years.
Here we go.
I still don't quite understand how you have 120 brothers. Did your parents adopt, or how did that happen? I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, I call them my brothers because they're brothers to me. But ultimately, they just came to live with us. It could be short term for a couple months. It could be long term for a couple years until they're ready, either for their parents to be able to take them back home, or for them whenever they graduate and leave high school.
Matt, were they coming from tough backgrounds? Is that what?
Yeah. Kids from very tough backgrounds. Parents involved with things that kids should not even have to see in their entire life.
So kind of like a group home.
Yeah, group home. Yeah.
To help. Who else has a question?
As far as the photography, where did you receive a formal education and training in photography and videography and post-processing, all in Cedarville?
Most of my work, I've been self-trained. So I've learned it through experiences and then being trained just on the job by other people. And so coming to Cedarville this year, transferring in has been my first time ever having formal education in what I do. Besides that, everything has just been, me teaching myself, me learning from other people, me working with other people, and just following their footsteps and just shadowing them.
Okay. Have you discovered the need to bring more people into the team that captures an event, depending upon the size of the event? And what does that do to your creativity to work with a team of people, obviously with varying degrees of skill?
Yeah, I love working with other people in a collaborative form. I see that most specifically within camp. So like I said, this past summer, I was able to have 2 guys underneath me that I was able to train. And that really helped me not only lighten my load, but also being able to pour out into people. And so really working in a team, the creative space is a big collaborative area. Because everyone is really good at their specific thing. Like there's things I'm really not good at that I'm glad I know other people that I can have them do things for me. And so it's a big team. If you make it an I, then you are missing out a lot.
What's the next biggest project on your to-do list, Matt?
I would say the next biggest project really is just wrapping up all the Unsung Hero content. So that's just kind of a continuing project for me. But probably this summer we'll be working on a music video for John Wesley.
So I'm having to wrap up the Unsung Hero. You have 13 days, Matt.
Yep.
Okay.
13 days.
Okay. So when Unsung Heroes comes out, well, my wife and I do when we go to see a movie, we stay to the very end. We watch all the credits and everything like that. Who do I know, or who have I met? And it's very small. I don't usually know too many people, but I like seeing names. Will I see your name on the credit list?
Unfortunately, you will not see my name on the credit list. Within the specific role I have, there's not a credit for that. And also, because I was working on marketing content, behind the scenes content, and not touching the actual film itself, that warrants a no credit for me. But grateful for the opportunity.
Any other questions? Oh, I'll come back down.
You mentioned closed countries.
Yeah.
Before. Can you explain?
Closed countries means where the gospel is forbidden,
Oh,
where people can't worship openly. Closed countries. Okay. Good question. Anything else? Well, when Dr. Tim Norman canceled, I scrambled, and I think the Lord brought us a good speaker. And if I'm allowed to continue getting speakers for this group, knowing that Matt at 19 did a really good job, I'll see if I can get a 9-year-old and see how well that person does. Thanks, Matt Black.